Kiev is boiling, and it's not just the heat. Something big is brewing. A peace deal is on the table, and Trump has made it loud and clear it will happen, no matter what the cost. But Zelensky? We all know he's not thrilled. He's dragging his feet, hoping it all falls apart. The last few hours have been nothing short of historic. A high stakes Putin Trump call, Riyadh picked as the battleground for diplomacy. It finally felt like the tides were turning. But just when it seemed like a breakthrough was near, boom, Chernobyl came out of nowhere, flipping the script. Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky has claimed that a Russian drone struck the containment structure at the Soviet era Chernobyl plant, which was devastated in the 1986 disaster. He reported significant damage from the attack. Zelensky took to X, dropping a video of the alleged attack. Quoting himself, he claimed, "Last night, a Russian attack drone with a high explosive warhead struck the shelter, protecting the world from radiation at Chernobyl's destroyed fourth reactor." He went on, "This shelter was built by Ukraine, with Europe, America, and others who care about real security. The only country that attacks its sites, occupies nuclear plants, and wages war recklessly is Russia. This is a global terrorist threat." According to Zelensky, the Chernobyl shelter took a hit, but the fires were put out. No radiation spikes yet, but monitoring is ongoing. Early reports say the damage is serious. If true, this could send the war spiraling into escalation once again. Moscow, however, isn't buying any of this. Kremlin spokesman Peskov shot down the claims, saying Russia doesn't target nuclear sites. He had no verified details but called it a provocation and a frame-up by Kiev, adding, "This is what they love doing." The Chernobyl protective dome, built in the 2010s for 2.1 billion euros, was designed to contain reactor force remains and stop radiation leaks. So as of now, we can say it could be a disaster in the making. Though who did it, no one knows till now. But let us here stop for a moment and look at the convenient timing. The alleged attack comes just days after Trump administration shut the door on Ukraine's NATO dreams and full territorial control in a potential peace deal, both things Zelensky called essential. Top officials from the US, Ukraine, and Russia are set to meet in Saudi Arabia next week for talks aimed at ending the war. US President Donald Trump announced on Thursday. Trump clarified that the country's leaders won't attend, but will send senior representatives to handle the negotiations. He described his Wednesday call with Putin as very good, saying it went a long way toward finding a solution to this horrible war, where so many are dying, especially soldiers. "We are going to see if we can end it. It's a brutal, bloody war, and we want it to stop," Trump stated, while hosting Indian PM Narendra Modi. Earlier, Trump expressed trust in Putin, saying he believes the Russian leader genuinely wants peace. "I know him well. If he didn't want peace, I think he'd tell me," he remarked. Russian officials warned Kiev might pull extreme stunts, including false flags, to frame Moscow, to wreck the US peace efforts and keep Western cash flowing. We're not saying that it is Ukraine behind the act, but the script is not entirely new. Back in 2022, Russia took over the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, along with Enerhodar and Berdyansk. At first, Ukraine denied it, but later had to admit the takeover. Despite the shift in control, the plant kept running as usual. Then came the renewed shelling. 3 radiation sensors damaged, 1 worker injured, and operations disrupted. When the IAEA investigated, guess what? It was Ukraine trying to sneak back in. Even then, peace talks were on the table, until Boris Johnson stepped in and wrecked them. Now, if a peace deal happens, Russia stands to gain, especially with Trump open to discussing territorial control. But for Zelensky, it's a total disaster. He loses land, power, and more importantly, the unchecked money flow Trump wants to cut. So if Ukraine is behind this attack, Zelensky might think he pulled a masterstroke. In reality, it's a colossal screw-up.